Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In the part 2 of the lecture number 7, we are going to focus on the permeability and seepage remaining part. In our first part, we focused on the concepts of understanding the permeability and the scope of permeability. Darcy's law, hydraulic conductivity of soil. Now in the part 2, that was the focus of the part 1. In part 2, we are going to focus how to determine the hydraulic conductivity in lab, and we will also solve two simple problems on it. Now, two standard laboratory tests are used to determine the hydraulic conductivity of soil. One is the constant head permeability test, and that is used for the coarse grained soils such as sands, gravels and their mixtures. Another method is the falling or variable head permeability test for fine grained soils such as silts, clays and their mixtures. Here we are going to show you a short video from the elementary engineering on the constant head permeability test, explaining that how we perform and why we perform the constant head permeability test.
Any soil, when depositing, contains some void in them. The property of the soil which permits the water or any liquid to flow through its voids is called permeability. Permeability is the ease with which water can flow through the soils. There are numerous methods through which we can measure the permeability of a soil in the field or of a representative sample in the laboratory. In the laboratory, we employ two methods. One is constant head permeability method and another one is variable head or falling head permeability method. These methods measure the amount of water that goes through a soil sample in a fixed time interval. Constant head method is suitable for coarse grained soils, which are relatively more pervious because of their large voids, while variable head is more suitable for fine grained soils, which are relatively less pervious because of their poorly connected void structure. Let's discuss constant head permeability method first. We perform this test for granular soils such as sand, where the quantity of discharge of liquid through them is large. For this test to perform, we use an instrument which is called constant head permeameter. This instrument consists of a cylindrical mold which is connected with two manometers at its curved surface. First, we measure its internal diameter and determine its internal area, which we say capital A. This mold is attached with two filter discs at the top and the bottom. These discs are porous and highly permeable. These are also provided with inlet and outlet facilities. We can perform this experiment for both disturbed and undisturbed soil sample. We fill the mold with our sample soil and compact it to a density which may be the representative of the field conditions. Or for an undisturbed sample, we take out the soil sample from the ground and trim it to the dimensions similar to that of the mold. We place the sample inside the mold between the porous discs. Some space will be left between mold and the specimen that we will fill with some impervious material such as cement slurry. The inlet of the instrument is then connected with a constant head water reservoir and water is released into the soil sample. When water flows through the soil, water level in the reservoir tend to decrease fast because soil we took is highly permeable soil, so high amount of water will flow through it. But with the proper arrangement, the water level in the reservoir must be kept constant. Before beginning the experiment, we first let the soil sample get fully saturated. And even after that, we allow the water to flow out for some time so that a steady flow can be attained. A steady flow is the one in which the quantity of liquid flowing per second through any section is constant. We will also notice that after the water has been released into the soil, the water level in the manometers has risen up to some height. The height of the water column in the manometer shows the total head or total energy of the water in the soil sample at this level. The difference of the heights of the water level in these two manometers is the difference of the total energy of the water at these two levels in the soil sample. This difference of energy of the water drives it to flow in the soil from one point of high energy to the point of low energy. We note down the difference of the heads of these manometers as delta H and also note down the distance between the points in the soil where these heads were measured by these manometers as L. We wish to maintain this difference of heads in the manometers so that we can maintain the hydraulic gradient inside the soil by keeping the head of the water reservoir constant. We place a graduated jar at the outlet to collect the water coming out of the sample, and a stopwatch is started. We collect the water in the jar for a fixed time interval T and note down the amount of water collected as capital Q. Now for this system, we may apply Darcy's law, which states that the velocity of flow of liquid between 2 points in the soil is directly proportional to the hydraulic gradient applied to it. And K is added as proportionality constant, which is called coefficient of permeability of soil. We also write the law for discharge as this. I is the hydraulic gradient and can be written as this. Here, discharge can be calculated as the volume of water collected, capital Q, divided by the time interval T. We have calculated the area of mold, capital A. We have also determined the head difference and the length L over which the head changed. So we have measured all the required values in this equation to calculate and know the permeability of the soil sample. According to the Indian standard.
Now, a typical arrangement of the constant head permeability test is shown in this figure. In this type of laboratory setup, the water supply at the inlet is adjusted in such a way that the difference of head between the inlet and the outlet remains the same or constant during the test period. After a constant flow rate is established, water is collected in the graduated flask for a known duration. Now the total volume of water which is collected in this graduated flask and the time required to reach this volume of water is also recorded, and then we can use this equation where Q is the volume of soil in the graduated flask, L is the length of the specimen, T is the time needed or time duration in which that Q volume of water is obtained or collected in this graduated flask. Delta H is the head difference or the head loss between the inlet and the outlet. This is the picture of the constant head permeability test. Now let us solve a simple problem on the constant head permeability test. A constant head permeability test was conducted and following data were obtained, where Q is 100 ml, cross-sectional area of the specimen is 45 square centimeter, head difference is 25 centimeter, length of the specimen is 12 centimeter, and time required to obtain this Q, or the volume of water of 100 ml, is 37 hours. Now we can simply use this equation. Q is equal to K I A N T, where K is the hydraulic conductivity, I is the K is the hydraulic conductivity, I is the hydraulic gradient, A is the cross-sectional area of the specimen, and T is the time required. A is given, and I we can obtain using this equation, delta H divided by L, and L is given 15 centimeter. So if we plug in those values and we do necessary unit conversions from hours to seconds and milliliters to cubic centimeter, we can easily find out the hydraulic conductivity in centimeter per second. Now there is another test which is used for fine-grained soils, is the filing or variable head permeability test, where the head is varying and the ASTM standard D5084 is used. So again, we are showing you a short video from the Elementary Engineering channel.
Any soil, when depositing, contains some voids in them. The property of the soil which permits the water or any liquid to flow through its voids is called permeability. Permeability is the ease with which water can flow through the soils. There are numerous methods through which we can measure the permeability of a soil in the field or of a representative sample in the laboratory. In the laboratory, we employ two methods. One is constant head permeability method and another one is falling head or variable head permeability method. These tests measure the amount of water that goes through a soil sample in a fixed time interval. Constant head method is suitable for large grained soils which are relatively more pervious because of their larger voids, while variable head is more suitable for small grained soils which are relatively less pervious because of their poorly connected void structure. We have already discussed constant head permeability method. Now let's understand the falling head or variable head method. We perform this test for fine grained soils where quantity of discharge of liquid through them is very small. For this test, we use an instrument which consists of a cylindrical mold. We measure its internal diameter and determine its internal area, which we say capital A. This mold is attached with two filter discs at the top and the bottom. These discs are porous and highly permeable. These are also provided with inlet and outlet facilities. Inlet is fitted with a graduated vertical standpipe. The diameter of this pipe is known, and let's say it is small letter d. Also its area is small letter a. We can perform this experiment on both disturbed and undisturbed soil samples. We fill the mold with our sample soil and compact it to a density which may be representative of the field conditions. Or for an undisturbed sample, we take out a soil sample from the ground and trim it to the dimensions similar to that of the mold. We place this sample inside the mold between porous discs. Some space will be left between the mold and the specimen that we will fill with some impervious material such as cement slurry. We fill the standpipe with water, and before beginning the experiment, we allow the water to flow through the soil and let it get fully saturated. Even after that, we let the water to flow out for some time so that a steady flow can be attained. A steady flow is the one in which the quantity of liquid flowing per second through any section is constant. Then we close the knob at the outlet and stop the water flow. We refill the standpipe up to a certain height. The height of the water column in the standpipe represents the head or the energy of the water. We assume there is a negligible head loss due to porous disc, and the energy of the liquid starts dropping when it begins to flow through the soil. So, if there is a manometer at the beginning of the soil, its water level should be the same as that of the pipe, because they are displaying the same water head. Hence, we can think this inlet pipe as the head measurer at the beginning of the flow, and we can ignore the first manometer. Now, if we have a manometer at the bottom of the sample, and when water flows through the soil, the water level in the manometer will display the exit head of the water. But if we place the instrument in a tub-like container full of water, its exit head will become constant. Also, if we consider the exit head or water level of the container as the datum, then datum head is 0, so exit head is also 0, and initial head of the water level in the standpipe from the datum is, say, H1. Hydraulic gradient, which is the difference of inlet and outlet head divided by the length of the soil specimen in which the flow takes place, will only depend on the height of the water column in the standpipe, as outlet head is 0. When we open outlet knob, water comes out and overflow the container. We start a stopwatch and place a graduated jar to collect the overflow water. We collect the water for a fixed time interval T and note down the amount of water collected as capital Q. We close the knob and also note down the final head in the standpipe, which is also the final head difference from the datum. We call it H2. Keep in mind that H1 and H2 are the heights of the water column in the standpipe and also the head differences which are causing the flow. Now, for this system, we may apply Darcy's law, which states that the velocity of flow of a liquid between 2 points in the soil is directly proportional to the hydraulic gradient applied to it. K is added as the proportionality constant, which is called coefficient of permeability of soil. We also write the law for discharge rate as this. We can notice the hydraulic gradient through the soil is changing every instant, as the water head is continuously changing in the standpipe. So let at any instant of time, when the water head was between H1 and H2, the head difference which was causing the flow through the soil is H. For a very short interval of time, dt, head in the standpipe drops by dh height. At that instant, when the head is h, the flow rate can be given as this. And the amount of water collected in the jar with this rate in a small time interval dt will be q into dt. So, using the continuity equation, we can write volume of water dropped or decreased, negative sign for the decrease, in the standpipe is equal to the discharge of water collected or increased in the jar through the outlet. Volume of water dropped in the standpipe is area of standpipe multiplied by the height of drop of water, and the amount of water collected in the jar is discharge rate multiplied by the time interval. We can write a discharge rate by Darcy's law as this. Hydraulic gradient I for that instant of time is h by L. We rearrange it and write it as this. Here, these values are constant, and for our taken test conditions, permeability is also constant. Only variables here are head difference and time. So we can integrate both from the head difference at initial head difference of h1 at time t equal to 0 to the final head difference of H2 at time t equal to t. Now we can integrate and apply the limits, also rearrange to find the value of permeability as this. Here log has its base e that can also be written as this for base n. In this equation, we have measured and recorded all the required values to calculate and know the permeability of the soil sample. According to the
Now we derive this equation where hydraulic conductivity is equal to 2.303 A small a into L divided by capital A T log to the base 10 H1 divided by H2. Now a typical arrangement of the falling head permeability test is shown here. Now the initial difference H1 at time t is equal to 0 is recorded and water is allowed to flow through the soil specimen. Such that the final head difference at time t is equal to T2 and the head will be H2. Now we can use this equation. Now this is the cross-sectional area of the standpipe, small a, length of the specimen from here, a cross-sectional area of the specimen, this is the capital A, which we can find out from the diameter. H1 and H2 are also given based upon the t is equal to 0 or t is equal to t. This is the picture of the falling head permeability test. Now let's solve a simple problem related to the falling head permeability test. Length of the specimen is 200 mm, that is equal to L. Area of the soil specimen, that is capital A. Area of the standpipe, small a, is given. Head difference H1 and H2 are also given. Now we need to determine the hydraulic conductivity of the soil in centimeter per second. So we can simply use this equation. K is equal to 2.303 small a L divided by AT log to the base 10 H1 divided by H2, and we will find out the hydraulic conductivity is equal to 2.27 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 centimeter per second. We will study about the seepage in our next video. I hope you are enjoying our videos. Please kindly like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Assalamu alaikum and Allah Hafiz.